apron of the ring is the turnbuckles that are attached to the ring post, and they're generally about 18-inch long, maybe 2 feet turnbuckles that the rope then attaches to. You turn it. That's why they call them a turnbuckle, because you turn them to tighten them, but it turns that corner of the ropes, right? And because the ropes then, if you've got a ring that's 18 feet square, the ropes sit in a couple of feet, so inside the roped area is about 16 feet. You follow me?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, there were no turnbuckles. The ropes attached to just this short little buckle onto the ring posts. So the ropes were literally almost flush with the ring post, so there was no apron of the ring that you could, like the partner would stand on in a tag match, or that you would get up on. In a tag match, they actually had this apparatus built. A wooden thing, like a wooden platform about 2 feet wide, that attached onto the ring post in two of the corners, and it went about 2 or 3 feet out from the post on each side, and that's what you had to stand on to take the tag in a tag match. Otherwise, if you had your feet on the edge of the ring and you were holding onto the ropes, you were completely perpendicular. There was you were leaning backwards, right? The balance was off because there was nothing to stand on outside the ropes. So we had called this finish without knowing that was the fucking ring. So I'm like, fuck, when I get out there, I told Dennis, I said, I can get up there. Just give me a second and I'll hold on good, right? We can do it anyway. Okay. So as the spot comes about, the referee takes a thumb in the eye, and Bobby and Dennis maybe have had a collision, and Bobby staggers over with his back towards me. I climb up on this thing, so I've got my feet on the edge of the ring. The balls of my feet are on the edge of the ring, and I'm holding on to the top rope so I don't fall backwards because I've got nothing to stand on. And with my right hand, I hold on to the rope, and I grab Bobby, and I pull him toward me, and I've got him loosely held with one arm because he's going to fucking get out anyway, right? As I see Dennis starting to get up and come charging toward me, somebody has hooked me around the waist from behind and is trying to pull me backwards. And I'm like, what the fuck? I quickly deduced, since I could see everybody else in the match, that this was a fucking mark, right? And what the fuck? I'm holding on to the rope with my right hand. I've still got my left hand around Bobby's fucking neck. And I've got the racket in my left hand that I'm holding around. And that's the only thing keeping me up on this thing. And I turn around and I see this guy's got me. He's gotten out of ringside somehow, and he's got me around the fucking waist. So the only thing I can do is I turn around and take a fucking backswing at him with the racket. And he sees it coming and he lets go of me and he ducks back. Well, now I'm hanging from one arm sideways on this fucking ring, because normally I'd just get in the ring. But it would take me longer to do that. And I would have to turn my back on this guy again, and I'd be off balance, and he's not leaving. So I jumped down to the floor flat-footed, and it was just like a spot. As soon as I landed with my feet, he swung at me, but I was already coming downwards anyway, so I just let the flow go, and I bent over and ducked the swing and came up from the floor with a goddamn shot with the racket right across his forehead, and he took a flat back bump. I've never seen anything like it. It's like he was working with me. As soon as I cracked him, and it hurt my elbows, so I know I got him good, right? That's when I can always tell when I got somebody good, because it hurt my elbows. Whack! He fucking flies backwards. And he does a flat back bump, only he didn't know to tuck his chin, and the back of his head hits the goddamn fucking floor, right? And I think, well, that'll be, and he turns over and starts getting up. So that's when I started, and then I went over, I threw a few kicks, and that's when here comes the principal and tackled this fucking guy. And like David said in the email, the fucking guy's head hits the gym floor a second time and bounces, and it sounded like that, right? Boom, don't make an edit. That's just what I'm a sound effect. And boom. And then here comes the fucking cops, and they threw him out the back door. I heard later on that they didn't arrest him. They just threw him out of the building. They may have told the kids they put him in the squad car. Maybe he got in there later on because he couldn't walk. But the story that I was told by either the principal or one of the cops later was that the guy was just wandering around. I guess the gym was out back of the parking lot or the track or the football field, whatever. He was just wandering around mumbling to himself in the back. They didn't know who he was. They said, as long as he doesn't come back in and try to cause any trouble, fuck him. That was Texas for you back then. But the big question mark in the story, did I really have a gold and diamond ring in the shape of the state of Texas?
Yeah.
No, it was my watch. I had just bought a brand new gimmick gold watch because, I was supposed to be the rich kid, right? Well, I always got the gimmick gold at either truck stops or Walmart, but a lot of times I would wear that. That's before I quit wearing that shit all the time because I was just losing it in situations like this. And as I recall, that's when I remember I've told the story. I got like a cheap plastic black banded watch, a small thing that nobody could really see for pay-per-view where I would and TV where I'd keep time. You couldn't really tell I was wearing one, but I quit the gimmick jewelry because it was just one time I was with Dream Machine in the car on the way from Louisville to fucking through Paducah, Kentucky to Memphis, I think, that way, out the Western Kentucky Parkway. And we stopped at a truck stop at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this watch that looked like it should sell for $25,000. I'm like, I got to wear this on Memphis TV tomorrow. He said, you ought to buy you that, corny. They didn't call me corny back then. What the fuck? But anyway, and I'm going to do it. It's like $8, right? This was a big fucking deal in 1982, $8. I bought it. I put it on. I was like, this is fucking great. And it had that fucking the plastic, the little plastic like stickum sheet over the top of something you buy that protects the face, and you peel it off, right? I peeled the fucking stickum off, and the whole face of the watch came off with the stickum. And all I had was the goddamn works, and I'm like, motherfucker. This is 10 miles down the road, the wrong way. Anyway, but yes, that was a story of Texas, and that was just one of the spot shows. So you always got your money's worth.
Were you always mad or annoyed, or were you always thinking, or did you ever think, well, this just means I'm doing my job well, the fact that this guy wanted to get me?
Oh, no, I got mad every single time. You have to. Because if you're sitting there like, well, fuck, I'm doing a good job, meanwhile, you're getting the shit kicked out of you. I got mad and fucking fought back and then calmed down later on. At least that was my coping mechanism, to have people physically attacking me 3 or 4 times a week for a multiple year period. But I don't know, some people, your mileage may vary on that one. I don't know, but no, for the first couple months in Louisiana, I was scared shitless, really. And by March, I remember one night in Alexandria, Grizzly Smith is holding me back. I'm like, bring that motherfucker over here, after they've already got me off of him. I'll kill him, motherfucker. A guy fucking just decided he was going to fucking pop me in the side of the head and thought I was going to look at him and not do anything about it. And I fucking Paul Bunyaned him with the racket straight down like a hatchet murder. Boom. And drove him to his knees with 2 or 3 shots. And then Grizzly grabs me. He's like, okay, we got the point. And he's dragging. I'm like, let me go. I'll kill him. I'll kill him 1,000,000 times.
How many watches did you go through?
Well, not many, because that's why I quit wearing it out after a while, where I figure I won't look as, goddamn opulent and wealthy, but I'll save more of my shit. And then also you wear that shit, it'll cut you or somebody else up too.
How long did you wear? I mean, not just watches.
And I've always been very financially, what's the word? Paniculous.
You wore rings also, didn't you?
Oh, only for a few publicity pictures and an early Memphis television and some Mid-South stuff. And then I said, okay, because you couldn't wear them. Yeah, I was like, it was too much. It was too much. I was trying things. Hey, what could I say? Bowie was Ziggy Stardust at one point. Anyway, if you would like to see whether I can still start a riot in public doing a personal appearance, you will have about 3 chances this year, because there's 3 places I've agreed to be at, and I'm probably not taking any more because I got too much shit to do and I'm just sour on the world. But anyway, March 14th, I will be in Circleville, Ohio at the new Heritage Center there at the fairgrounds for World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling. And Bobby Fulton, as we mentioned last week on the program, it's a Midnight Express reunion with me, Bobby Eaton, and Dennis Condrey. A fan fest. All kinds of stars are going to be there all day. They're going to have matches, but don't blame me. But we're going to have a great time there in Circleville and open up the brand new building with the biggest wrestling crowd ever in Circleville, is what we are predicting, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to the days of Buddy Rogers, you can't beat the crowds of the 50s. Then March 26th through the 29th in LexCon this year, the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention at Lexington Center, Rupp Arena. And my friend Jared Greer and the folks at Inner Geek Comics who do such a great job. We're going to, I think, have even more people. I think their record was either last year or the year before. They're going to do better than 40,000 folks this year. I can feel it in my bones. And so if you want to see me anywhere around the state of Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, whatever the case, those are the two chances to do it in March. And otherwise, this year in August, I'll be at the Gathering in Charlotte because we're going to do that every year because it's summer vacation. And the folks at T-Mart did a great job last year, and we will be there with all kinds of reunions and stuff this year. And otherwise, I'll be in the house a lot. So don't miss me, those three places. Where are you going to be, Brian?
Nowhere involving wrestling, I'll tell you that much. You'll find me at the Met game. You'll find me doing some stuff with the kids. Probably going to some amusement parks.
You should advertise that. You should say, like, I'll be at the Met game. Come up and chat.
Nah, people bother me. People bother me. People don't know me bother me.
Do the Mets now draw, like, fucking indie crowds where you can just pick people out personally?
If it's a day game and it's like, if it's like a spring night game on a Tuesday, yeah, people will find you.
A spring night game on a Tuesday, you can find Brian Lass, ladies and gentlemen, at every Mets game in the spring at night on a Tuesday.
That's right. Don't bother me unless you're bringing me a drink.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a sour attitude to have when I was going to tell you about the greatest thing. No, seriously, I was going to tell you about the greatest thing that now my favorite of all of our sponsors now has come out with something that you can not only use during the day, but you can use at night games. You can use during power failures. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pubic service announcement. After more than 18 months of research and development, the Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the greatest ball trimmer ever produced by mankind. I'm going to listen to what this sounds like. You hear that? That is the hum of slickness and contentment, because we have talked about the Lawnmower 2.0 and how great it was. And it was my greatest personal grooming tool ever, and it's been a revolution. It's been a life-changing thing. Guess what is in my hand right now? The Lawnmower 3.0.
Now that's crazy, because 2.0, the Lawnmower 2.0, let me use its Christian name. It's perfect. I've talked about it. I use it on my face. It is just the greatest razor, buzzer, whatever you want to call it, I've ever had. It is perfect. I don't know how they could improve upon that.
And we should clarify also, let's use its Christian name, but we should clarify also, you got two, one for your face and one for your asshole, because you don't want to mix the perineum cells with your fucking nostrils, but still, nevertheless, you can use it everywhere. But no, I'm telling you what they have done here, this is fucking genius, Brian. Not only is it an even more improved head trimmer area, cutting area. So we've already talked about it's impossible to nick yourself, cut yourself. You can't draw blood, whatever. But this is improved, but also it has a little attachment that you can actually, now you can do your beard, even your hair with this thing, because it's adjustable links. It's got the little plastic attachment. Plus, here's the goddamn deal, folks. Guess what it's got right underneath the little cutting tool up at the top, right up above the power button. And now, by the way, there's a base that you can plug in the wall, and you can set this thing in the base, and you can charge it, and it charges the last for up to an hour and a half. You could shave a gorilla in an hour and a half with this thing. But guess what it has underneath the cutting tool, up above the little power button?
I don't know.
An LED light.
Oh, get out of here. Wow.
Yes, it illuminates. No matter where you point this thing, the light illuminates in pitch blackness wherever you are trying to groom. So you can actually, in a power failure, you can shave your balls. When you can't do anything else in the middle of the night in a power failure, shave your balls, your ass, your perineum, your petruvium, your petroleum, your underarms, your chest, your back, your sideburns, your eyebrows.